Major relief is finally on the horizon for millions of Americans, and this update comes straight out of the White House during a time when the country is struggling far more than most leaders want to admit. And for everyone watching here on Financial Future, especially seniors, fixed-income families, and households falling behind on bills, this news is extremely important. Right now, Americans are falling behind on mortgages, rent, car payments, utility bills, and credit cards. Foreclosures and vehicle repossessions are rising every single day. People are desperate for answers, and the question I keep hearing most is this: is President Trump actually serious about sending out $2,000 relief checks? According to the White House, yes. And in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly what was said and what this means for you. But first, let's talk about what just happened yesterday. President Trump has been saying the stock market is strong, hitting all-time highs, and that inflation looks under control. But a new concern is rising, and ironically, direct relief payments could be the very thing that helps fix it. Because yesterday, the Dow dropped more than 800 points, marking its worst day in over a month. Investors are becoming worried that stock prices are inflated and not backed by real value. And on top of that, the Federal Reserve is now signaling it may not cut interest rates in December, even though many expected it. That possible rate cut was one of the last things holding up optimism in the markets. Lower rates would make borrowing cheaper, helping people buy homes, finance vehicles, or access credit during the holiday season. And that's exactly why direct relief payments, dividends, stimulus checks, whatever form it takes, matter more now than ever. Millions of Americans genuinely need help. Now let's talk about the White House announcement regarding the $2,000 checks. President Trump has openly talked about sending out $2,000 payments, and earlier this year he even floated the idea of a DOGE dividend, though that never materialized. So the question was asked directly: should Americans expect the $2,000 checks? Is the White House committed? White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt responded clearly. The White House is committed to making that happen. Yes, we are exploring all legal options to get it done. She said they do not have a timeline yet, but confirmed the president has made this a priority and that his economic team is actively working on multiple pathways to deliver relief. That's important because they're not looking at just one model. The old pandemic-style stimulus checks might not be the blueprint. A tariff-based dividend might not be either. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says every legal option is being reviewed. And now that the government has reopened, we're finally seeing economic data that was hidden during the 40-plus day shutdown. And the numbers are alarming. Foreclosures jumped 20% in October. More than 36,700 properties received foreclosure notices, default letters, auction dates, or repossession filings. That's up 3% from September, and 19% higher than October of last year. Even worse, foreclosure starts, the first step in the legal process, are up 6% for the month and 20% year over year. And remember, foreclosure starts usually happen 3 to 6 months after someone first falls behind on payments. This problem has been building silently. But it's not just homes. Americans are delaying everything. They're postponing big purchases: homes, cars, business investments. They're skipping monthly bills, delaying medical treatments, and putting off major life decisions, including having children, because of rising costs. The administration has talked about expanding the child tax credit in the future, and even floated ideas like 50-year mortgages to lower monthly payments. The downside is obvious: you pay more interest long-term, but it's a sign they are searching for solutions. And despite what the president says publicly, behind closed doors he admits the affordability crisis is real. But publicly announcing a crisis would force policy shifts he doesn't want, like cutting tariffs or slowing wage growth. So instead, He's pushing advisors to find creative ways to boost affordability without slowing the economy. That includes bringing more manufacturing back to the U.S., a move that could raise wages, increase tax revenue, and stabilize long-term economic growth. But more income can also push prices up, so the administration has to balance this carefully. On this channel Financial Future, I've warned you for more than a year that job insecurity is a growing issue. People are taking on multiple side jobs because wages haven't kept up. Automation and restructuring are hitting workers across the country. The White House knows this. And that pressure is part of why Trump keeps mentioning relief funded by tariff revenue or import taxes. Because what happens over the next 6 to 8 weeks will shape the entire 2026 economic agenda. Will we see stimulus checks? Tax credit increases? Rebate programs? A brand new type of relief? Right now, every option is reportedly on the table. Meanwhile, 2 Federal Reserve officials have publicly opposed the December rate cut. If rates remain high, business investment slows, consumer spending drops, and the economy risks sliding backward during the holiday season. Now let's talk about 2026. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says early 2026 could bring major economic relief. He pointed to huge developments in South Carolina, a new Boeing plant with 1,000 jobs, a rare earth facility with 800 construction jobs and possibly 3,000 permanent positions. This is part of a bigger national shift toward rebuilding U.S. manufacturing. States are stepping up. Businesses are stepping up. And the federal government appears to be preparing something even bigger behind the scenes. According to Republican insiders, something major is coming, something meant to shock the American people. Most don't expect relief. Most don't expect dividends, rebates, tax cuts, or stimulus checks. But according to these sources, a real plan exists and may roll out as we get closer to the midterms. This might explain why President Trump has urged senators to consider eliminating the filibuster, which would allow Republicans to pass financial legislation with just 51 votes. It's too early to know if that will happen, but the direction is clear. Here's the bottom line. Relief is coming. Something big is happening behind the scenes. We don't yet know the exact form: checks, dividends, tax credits, rebates, but the momentum is unmistakable. And here on Financial Future, I'll keep you updated the moment anything changes. This impacts seniors, Social Security recipients, retirees, low-income households, and anyone struggling to stay afloat. Thank you for watching Financial Future. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next update.